Welcome back to Still Here. In the last episode, we talked about how relationships begin to change in dementia, how roles shift, often gradually, and how families adjust their responsibilities they didn't expect to take on. Today, I want to talk more directly about the experience of caregiving. Because while dementia affects the person living with it, it also places a sustained and often invisible demand on the people around them. Many caregivers move through this experience very quietly. They manage appointments, they keep track of medications, they notice changes, they adjust routines, they respond to behaviors. And often, they do all this while continuing the rest of their lives. Work, family, other responsibilities. From the outside, it can look like things are being handled. But from the inside, the experience can feel very different. What I hear from many caregivers is not just that the work is difficult, but that it can feel isolating. Not because others don't care, but because it can be hard to fully explain what the day-to-day experience is like. And without that understanding, much of what caregivers are carrying remains unseen. First, I would like to talk about what we call the invisible load. I have been seeing a woman with dementia whose primary caregiver is her spouse. He's a very nice and caring gentleman. For the longest time, since his wife was given a diagnosis of dementia, he's been able to manage things well until she started wandering. The constant vigilance due to safety concerns secondary to wandering was taking a toll on him. Besides that, the emotional labor of having to basically child-proof his home so his adult wife wouldn't get out while he's not looking. And the decision fatigue of, is this the right time to have another person come to the house? Or even transition to a facility? No one sees any of this. They are a massive load, yet invisible. Aloneness and segregation that is so palpable may not be depicted. Isolation usually happens because others do not fully understand. The afternoon naps that my mother takes is crucial. It decreases her confusion, irritability, and even agitation in the late afternoon, early evening. However, another family member or another concerned relative may think that being active and being involved in some activities are more helpful because they stay stimulated. The intention is good, but only a few really understand what works. It is different for every individual. The afternoon nap is what works for my mom. Because of these uniqueness, it can be difficult to ask for help. And even if this was explained to someone else so they can maybe help, dementia is so unpredictable that the afternoon nap is not 100% guaranteed. The confusion may happen. The irritability may happen when somebody else is around. Or she may refuse an afternoon nap altogether. True awareness and sensitivity are not always delineated. Emotional reality is usually unseen. Caregivers a lot of the times hesitate to say how they are feeling. Not because they don't want understanding, not because they don't want support, but because sometimes there's so much mix of emotions, making it difficult to express. The feelings of exhaustion, guilt, frustration, and love coexisting with all of it. The fact that it is a combination of all these is because we are human. These feelings are not because of failure to be a devoted or reliable, steadfast caregiver, but because they are inherent to the role. From the outside, it can look like things are being handled. But from the inside, the experience can feel very different, more elaborate, more complicated, more involved. Caregiving in dementia is often described in terms of tasks, appointments, medications, daily care. But much of the experience is not visible. It's the constant awareness, the adjustments, the decisions that have no clear answers. And over time, that kind of responsibility can feel heavy in ways that are difficult to explain. If you are in that role, if you are carrying that weight day after day, it makes sense that you may feel tired. It makes sense that you may feel pulled in different directions. It makes sense that there are moments of frustration or doubt alongside the care and commitment you bring. None of those responses mean you're doing something wrong. They reflect the reality of what you are being asked to hold. Caregiving is not only an act of support, it is also an experience that changes the person providing it. And much of that change, again, happens quietly. Part of what I hope this conversation offers is a way to recognize that experience, so that what you're carrying feels a little more visible and a little more shared. In the next episode, we'll talk about what good care can look like. Not as a set of rules, but as a way of responding to the person in front of you. Thank you for listening to Still Here. Wherever you are in this experience, I hope these conversations bring a little more understanding and remind you that you are not alone in it.